Hello Pisces, and welcome to your March 2023 reading. So, happy solar return, happy birthday. May all the light and love and fulfillment of your heart be present this month and for the rest of the year. So, I'm sending you all my love and light. And to the ones of you who have already had your birthday since the 21st, and all of you that's going to have your birthday in the month of March. So, I meditated on your energy and what Spirit wanted to talk to you about. The first card that I have is the Queen of Swords in reverse, okay? So, right away, that means that this month, if there's kind of something you have to remember all month, when you're living situations, when, interacting with people, or how you process or you perceive things. Am I perceiving this the right way? Because the thing with the Queen of Swords in reverse is that she looks at things through the lens of her wounds and not from the wisdom that she pulled from her healed wounds, but from her wounds. So it's still her reality. And because of that can, bring a lot of misunderstandings and pains and wounds that are unnecessary for you this month. So, and this is pretty much what the whole month will be about, the giving you the opportunity to switch that around. So, Queen of Swords in reverse. And then I have, of course, the Six of Cups in reverse. Because if she's looking through the lens of her wounds, well, that's going to be wounds from the childhood, wounds from everything that was far from unconditional love, of giving and receiving gestures of love, giving gestures of love, vibrating your water. See, in there's white flowers in those cups. It's not my emotional baggage, and it's not me seeing the possible pain and me not being able to receive unconditional love either because of what I've went through. And so at the end of the month, and they're in reverse, but this can switch at any moment during the month, okay? This tarot never reads the future, okay? It is a tool to have certain outlook on, well, if nothing changed, the tendency is going that way. But always remember that you are a master of your life. And if I read a map and I see that I'm heading west, where in fact I want to go east, at any moment I stop my car and I turn around. It's the same thing with life. Tarot gives you the image of the map, where you're going and where you could be heading instead. So, if you continue and you don't do nothing, of course, there's going to be like misconnections, not feeling connected with people, and miss opportunity of, or not miss opportunity, I shouldn't say that, because love is constantly around us at any moment. And we can grasp it and feel it within ourselves, that brings its peace, its serenity, its grace, its creativity, and so on. Or we can leave it aside. But when we're looking with the eyes of a Queen of Swords in reverse, we just can't see that cup. Even if somebody is giving it to us right there, we can't perceive it. We can't perceive the Ace of Wands either, and so even harder to grab it if we can't see it. And here we have the Four of Cups, and this, of course, is nice that it's in reverse, because this is just getting the idea that, you know what I've lived, those 3 cups on the ground, what I've lived until now, in my youth, in my life. It's not all there is. I can actually experiment something else. Maybe there is a cup out there. And the Four of Cups in reverse is getting out of that emotional prison where we just take what we've experienced, even if it's painful and singular, and we can only project that in front of us and close ourselves from being able to experiment something else. But here at the end of the month, there's this opportunity to open up. Okay? And you've had your moon last month. And so this, for a lot of people, was very tumultuous because it came to the summit everything that has been brewing for the past 6 months on your full moon. And so if we've harbored old pains, well, the last full moon showed it to us completely. If it was our incapacity to receive unconditional love, it was shown to us very obviously because it was a full moon. So here, what they want to talk about, the principle that is not quite grasped, here under the Queen of Swords in reverse, I have the Page of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. And so Six of Pentacles is all about that capacity to give and to receive unconditionally, knowing that it has to pass through us first. If I want to give energy, I have to have no limit in the amount of energy I can actually pass through me before I give the overflow. And it's the same for everything. Okay? Worth, value, appreciation, time, energy, love also. Same thing. Often people mistake this card for a card of love. And yes, we can exchange love in a mirror. I love you, you love me. That's what's in my cup, and that's what's in your cup. That's a beautiful mirror. That's the principle of mirrors, though. Okay? And that's why you have the Chalices of Hermes here. Because I show you my cup, you show me yours. This is where I vibrate. This is where you vibrate. This is a tool to grow, to see where we're at, so that we can transmute, so that we can grow, so that we can, like the principle of alchemy, remove our shadows in order to make light pass through us unhindered by removing the shadows. That's what the Two of Cups is all about. So the principle of love, and a lot of people see it like this, but it's like a plug from one to another. You give me love, I give you love. My capacity to be loved is filtered through your capacity to give it to me. If you cannot appreciate who I am, then my capacity to be loved is shrinked by your capacity to give it to me. I better be really amazing because I don't want you to unplug the source of love. My knowledge or the capacity to feel love within me is all in your hand. That is codependency totally, okay? If you change the word electricity for the word love, because love is a vibration. It's a vibration of the divine. It has information in it. It has memory in it. It has all sorts of things in it. But if you change the word electricity for love, when I see you, I allow myself to feel the electricity within me. Or I only can source myself from your availability to give me electricity. You see what I mean? But the goal is to all become Tesla towers, where we can grasp the electricity, the love that is constantly around us within the divine, and therefore feel constantly in a Six of Cups, in this unconditional capacity to give and receive and feel love, peace, serenity, and so on. So the mirror becomes we share our infinite source together, instead of we depend on what you give me and what I give you. That is a life lesson anyway to begin with. But we are entering, we're going to have like the full moon in Virgo. You just had your moon in Pisces, okay? So the flow of water in the security of Virgo. And the only way to be secure is to have the knowledge of this. See, the guy is represented as a rich guy because he has no limit in how much he can receive. It is not determined by his outside of him. It is within him. There's an information about that is going to actually change the way you perceive receiving and giving love. Okay? So, of course, this during the month will put you at a crossroad of doing things in the same way you've always done, which probably left you into that kind of prison here. Or to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to the sharing of joy and love and celebration from people around you. If you receive a gesture of love, do you think you'll have to owe it back after? If you receive celebration, praises, acknowledgement, a gift, whatever it is, do you feel like you're going to owe it back because it doesn't come from an infinite place? It comes from a finite place, and you don't want to be in debt because then, oh my God, the connection might be severed if I'm not profitable in the relationship. Do you see what I mean? There's something about that this month that is going to become clear to you. Under our aces, because there's like that new beginning, that new start that can happen for you at the end of the month here, or mid-month, depending on, free will where you are. Under that we have Eight of Sword, Four of Sword, and then we have the Knight of Wands. Well, that might be your energy as you enter Aries. It's that kind of, you know what? I'm going to go for it. You know what? I'm going to get out of my mausoleum where I've been healing my past wounds for so long and was keeping me in my head. I'm going to get out of that. And I'm just going to go for what I desire, for what I want, bringing this energy in a much lighter way. Maybe allowing yourself to be spontaneous in your gestures of love. So let's clarify this for you, my beautiful Pisces. I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Pisces for the month of March 2022. All right, show me that Queen of Swords in reverse. Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse with a Page of Cup. So, and you see we have the Four of Wands in reverse. And this is like either an offering of love or a receiving of love that was met with rejection, with a harsh way of perceiving it that might have created a lot of sadness. But that experience kind of brings you to understand the principle of giving and receiving love. Let's look at that Page of Swords. Ooh, yeah. And there I have an Ace of Cup. And here we have our Six of Pentacles. And this is what I was saying. And here is Justice. And Justice rules, I mean, this is Venus in Libra. It rules the house of partnerships, our dynamic with others. There's a beautiful comprehension on what our dynamic with others is all about. There was an Ace of Cup that was communicated, that came from a balanced place. That means it didn't come with any expectancy. It was free. Let's look at that Six of Pentacles, because double Six of Pentacles here. So it's either you offering it or somebody offering it to you, of course, depending on which side of the... Again, I have that Page of Cup. Beautiful offering of love that brought you one heck of a wake-up call. And the processing of that wake-up call is going to happen during the whole month. Okay? So this already happened or is going to happen to you, but the opportunity to have that wake-up call, let's say, is there. Learning to give love is as important as learning to receive it. And at one point, offering from an unconditional place, you understand that it can only go to somebody that can receive it from an unconditional place also. So you can joyfully express the joy of receiving, which is the gift in return, the joy of receiving. And here, it's like if, oh, that did not go so well. That did not go so smoothly. So, either you're the one that has to think, how did I perceive that gesture? Or you're the one that has to change the perceiving of, how do I give? Do I expect to have acknowledgement, to reassure my connection by giving? But here, there's a cup that has been offered, that was balanced, and that was harshly perceived and rejected. Okay? So, let's look at that. Here, why is the Six of Cups in reverse? Okay. So we have our Four of Swords and we have a Ten of Swords. So, and here is the understanding of the page. Okay. There it is. They have a very hard time receiving. I mean, they could go in the church, be well and comfortable and all of that, and they can't. They can't because they are sure their I am is that they are abandoned and rejected. It is not I am full and unlimited in my capacity to receive. It is I am not enough. And therefore, if you give me more than my capacity to receive, I'm going to feel like I owe. I'm going to feel unbalanced. I'm going to feel uncomfortable. I will not want it. With the Ten of Swords, there's this realization this month of how this way of thinking about ourselves or about the whole process of giving and receiving has hurt us. And there's a repeat of the Four of Swords. Let's look at that Two of Wands. It affected your truth. It affected your growth. And you're going to have to actually choose a path here so that you can continue to grow and not remain in the same way that gave you the same results. Three of Cups. And the quality of what you can receive from the people around you. And like I was saying, not receive as what they can give you when it comes to your capacity of acknowledgement of who you are and your worth and are you lovable or not, but in your capacity to share as a bunch of Tesla towers, okay? Their cups are full and they are sharing it together in joy. That is how we should always be. And this month you'll have the choice to say, okay, I did not have that and I wasn't taught that. But this month, maybe I can actually change that. You want to talk about the Three of Cups? Oh, I guess so. Yeah. So, it went far, but ultimately it's a decision. What do I believe? What do I believe will dictate how I perceive things. So, and how I perceive them dictates how I experiment them, how I feel about them, what will be imprinted from the experience. It all one unfolds into the other. So at one point, the Six of Cups, that capacity to give and receive unconditionally, what does it mean exactly? Let's look at that Two of Cups that had the Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, and the Four of Cups. All right. They were all in reverse, and now we have a Tower with the Ten of Pentacles. Because the Ten of Pentacles represents all that transmittable from one generation to another, the principle of Pentacle. And the principle of Pentacle, not just money. If you read purely on the basic, shallow surface, yes, Pentacle is money and richness and so on. But Pentacle is your human experience in the material world. Pentacle is the program in your body, your education, the patterns that were given to you. Your genetics. Pentacle is that reality you're living through your five senses, and that material reality of the four elements and spirit that holds it all together. Here with the Tower, it's there to break down this. Because anyway, it wasn't growing anymore. Like, you've hit your ceiling of Ten of Pentacles. So, at one point, you need to do things differently, because if not, it's just going to continue to implode. Okay? So the Tower here is a liberating Tower, because the misconnections, and the incapacity to perceive the love around you. And therefore, if I can perceive it, I cannot grab it. If I can't grab it, I can't experiment it. It's not part of my truth. And so on. The Tower will bring that down so that you can start building in a completely different way, with a new fire, with a new energy, Ace of Wands. That might be a lot more spontaneous. Let's look at that Eight of Swords. It's a beautiful liberation from it's like if you were on a planet where everything was counted. You know, I give you this amount of love, and you better give me back the same thing with interest and even more, because you start from behind in the race here. You're handicapped. You're not fulfilled. So, of course, the Empire, that this way of thinking and feeling and experimenting life will be limited. So, here, with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords, I have an Ace of Swords. And you will kind of understand, and we see that the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups here, the difference between those two cards is that him, when he's like this, he doesn't see that card, that ace at all. It doesn't even exist for him. He already thinks, I've been there, lived that. That doesn't exist. You know, it's La La Land or whatnot. And in the Eight of Cups, he doesn't have it, but he knows it exists and he goes for it. And you will have the understanding on how maybe your old baggage drowned you, and how maybe you prevented yourself for actually going to get that extra cup that will allow you to feel more deeply a higher quality of love, and therefore after, then it's going to be mirrored to you in a different way than what you've always known. So we're releasing also, here I have the Ten of Wands with that. So you can grab that new wand, that new way of doing things. That means we need to leave the last cycle of wands behind us, because we cannot carry things the way we used to carry them, and at the same time be light like a Knight of Wands. Let's look at that Knight of Wands. There I have the Moon, and there I have the Fool. Okay, up or down. But the Moon here, anyway, it's at the end of the month, you are going to enter into that Moon quest. Because what is making you resist from allowing yourself to be fully what part of you resists from receiving love, receiving attention, energy, or whatever? With the Judgment and the Moon like this, it's gonna come up for you to address it. It's gonna come up maybe in your the full moon in Virgo. It's possible, because Virgo is there to kind of ground cosmic intelligence, okay, ruled by Mercury, and it's right in front of you. So from the capacity to be in the flow of receiving and feeling secure and grounded in our body, in this reality with it. So, of course, and also entering, Aries after you past the 21st. You might have that energy pushing you to move into action. Well, you have to make sure that you actually treated and understood what is imprinted in the depths of your water here, so that you don't just jump and react and have that dog bite your ass there. The Fool is safe with faith when he doesn't have a pattern that will, hinder him in some way. So if at the end of the month something becomes extremely clear, because that's the type of tower that will bring a situation where it's almost caricatural on either, wow, my offerings are not received at all, or, my God, what is my capacity to actually receive? What is behind me offering something? Is it because I want to be appreciated, or is it actually coming from an unconditional place? This is all going to become very clear at the end of the month, and it's going to be a beautiful opportunity to rise, to transmute, to heal from your past wounds about love and worth and value and all of these things, in that flow of things. So on that, my beautiful Pisces, how are you loved, and how do you love? This is the thing for you this month. And on this, I'm sending you all my love and light in hopes that you can receive it for free. Thank you for watching, sharing, commenting. If you want to support the channel, please subscribe. It's gonna help a lot. And also, if you want a private reading, there's a website. You go on there. Everything is there for you. The scheduling and all. It's a 3-week period, so there's always new days appearing after 3 weeks. And on this, I'm sending you all my love and light, Pisces. Happy birthday again. And I'll see you next month.